Beat it, punk. What? The courier must...
Thanks for taking care of... I collect scrap and... No, those meatheads just cornered me. Ah, fellow traveler. Should have figured from the mud on your boots. Nice to know I'm not... No, We talking before or after my face looked like? Before this. Before the war. I was a fire starter. Anarchist. Guys in charge said all we did was throw bombs at people. That wasn't true of all of us, but I fit the stereotype to a T. Even had a partner, in more ways than one. Italian guy. Never could remember his name. He died right before the war. Probably for the best. After he died, I decided to infiltrate a mining outpost. Destroy it from the inside. Down with capitalists and all that. Wasn't there too long before the bombs fell, which is how I changed. The outpost would later become Salt Town. After I turned into a ghoul, I joined the other miners and helped build up Salt Town. Wasn't too keen on it at first, since I hate governments. But it grew on me, at least until we elected the first foreman. Never did like the guy, but things were still good. Then the second foreman took over and everything went to shit. The new guy was just as bad as the capitalist assholes from before the war. He may have been worse. He treated us like garbage, tools to make him richer. I joined a group to make things better, but they weren't willing to go far enough, so I left the town. Turned to scavenging after that, and here I am now. Well, hello.
Is that scar real? I don't know. Dang, that must have hurt, like a lot. I should feel bad for digging up the memory, but I don't. I'm May, by the way. Professional failure. When I'm not hanging out with Chloe or climbing the overpass, I'm here drawing porn. Occasionally non-porn, but mostly porn. I'd be willing to give you some if I had any, but Chloe always gets them first. Friend privileges. Wow, really? Greg's sick? I could never have guessed. Thank you for telling me this, kind stranger. Please, take my virginity as your reward. My brother is always sick. Something to do with his immune system? Mom and Dad are making a big deal over nothing, as usual. I'm just bored and hungry. I'm hungored. Duh. Besides people stealing our caps, nothing happens here. One of these days, I'm going out into the wastes, and then I can have drugs and do sex.
Hi there, I'm Candy. Candy Caulfield? Anything I can help you with? Well, I've always lived here. My husband Stan's another story. He came up north to trade with the Legion, but found me instead. Soon enough, I was married and pregnant with Greg. Sometimes. But despite all its problems, it's still home. I don't think I'll ever leave. Irvington's been around since before the war. It was larger back then, a luxury neighborhood. Most of the nicer buildings got covered by snow. About 60 years ago, the town was rediscovered and settled by my grandmother, Iris Caulfield. The town grew from there into what you see today. Trade, mostly. We don't have any resources of our own, so we're dependent on others. You mean May? She's a nice girl deep down. I just hope one day she realizes that. Chloe certainly isn't helping anything. I know it doesn't seem like it, but Stan's okay. We're just going through a rough year. Well, for starters, our crops died earlier in the year. Stan thought he could grow something out at the old farm, but we all knew that wasn't going to work. Our son Greg got sick, and now our daughter is starting to act out. At this point, just getting out of bed anymore is a struggle. Welcome back.
The fuck you want? Whatever.
We're done. We're done. Hear me? robot old Ben uses scares me. That robot old Ben uses scares me. Welcome back.
Welcome to Old Ben's Shack. I'm Steely, and you're going to die! We're all going to die eventually, probably soon considering the current geopolitical climate. Oh yeah, death! Of course not. As a robot, I have no soul. And thus, my destruction will lead to the cessation of my existence. Yet still, I find myself romanticizing the peaceful oblivion that is death. I was created so that I could tell children not to steal. Instead, I told them the horrors of war, and the likelihood that their young lives would be cut short. Thanks to old Ben, I was brought back online, and must now suffer under the crushing despair that is my existence. You may have skirted the edge of death, but you are not free from its grasp. It haunts you as my crimes haunt me. Oh yeah! The next...
Howdy, youngster. Name's Ben, but most folks just call me Old Ben, on account of me being old. I can repair your things if you want, and I have a couple energy weapons for sale. Oh, don't pay him no mind, that's Steely. Been here since before we showed up. I guess you could call him my mascot. That's right, built him myself. Wasn't easy since I didn't have much to work with, but I think I did all right. Oh, that? Oh, that's for a personal project. Don't worry about it. Well, that's a long and boring story. Almost as long and boring as my life. Back before my hair turned gray, I ran with a group called the Brotherhood of Steel. I came up north with a few other squads to set up Brotherhood listening posts in the frontier. It was supposed to pave the way for a full chapter. You can probably guess it didn't work out. Enclave, faster, uglier, and meaner than I'd ever seen it before, came out of the sky with Verta shuttles and Gatling lasers. Destroyed the posts themselves and killed everyone inside to the last man. I got lucky. Armor took the brunt of a laser blast. It burnt deep enough to look bad, but not deep enough to hurt me. I played dead for 2 days until I was sure those bastards were gone. Then I hightailed it out of there. I don't rightly know. It was years ago. We're talking at least a decade. It's possible that they could have just been remnants from the oil rig, but I'm not so sure. Something about them felt different, almost robotic. Like they weren't human no more. Oh, right. I suppose that was the original question, wasn't it? Well, I tried my luck at farming, and that didn't work out. Got married, too, and that had the same result. At some point, I came across Irvington and liked it so much, I decided to stay. Yep, 3 squads for 3 posts. Never even sent a scouting team to find us. You know, come to think about it, you look well-traveled. Ever been south? Perfect. I've been asking about the Brotherhood for a while now, but no one will give me a straight answer. How's the Brotherhood doing down south? Keeping people safe, I hope? Never mind. I could, but I don't feel comfortable just giving it out to anyone.
That robot old Ben uses scares me.
rob us, then... Of course... I'm telling you... Oh, my mistake. Well, it's my job to keep the town safe, and we don't get many visitors. No one comes all the way out here if they don't have a reason. A courier? I haven't seen too many of those in the frontier. Guess old Ben must have ordered something. Rules here are the same as anywhere else. Don't cause any trouble and you should be fine. Welcome to Irvington. I had a feeling you'd be out here. You're nosy for a stranger. You should have just stayed out of this. But, since you're here, you might as well help out. I didn't make them lie. It was their choice. It was a safety measure. We didn't know what kind of people they would send after the caravan. What those people would do to us. The less it looks like we know, the better. No idea. I thought it was a robbery, but everything is still here, just wrecked. Even the Legion isn't this brutal. I don't know what did this. Same reason as you, I suppose. To find out what happened to the caravan. I think the answer is pretty obvious. There's a ledger in one of the boxes. It has classified information in it that we can't risk falling into the wrong hands. Problem is, I can't get the damn box open. The way these caravans work is that they rotate who is the master key every few days. If you can find that, we can get this thing open no problem. Give it to me. You're really gonna do this? They were nosy like you and found something they shouldn't have. I came out here to make sure they didn't share what they learned. Turns out, I wasted my time, because they were already dead. You can have the ledger if you want it, but keep what happened here a secret. Tell Adam they were lying about coming back. That was a lie. I just needed to find out what was in there. That piece of paper is worthless. What? Look, I couldn't deal with them in the town. This was the better option. If they survived the trek, good. If they didn't, no big loss for us. Well, for starters, what they found out needs to stay buried. If people came looking for them, those people might find out what the caravan did. Besides that, news of the caravan being destroyed would cause traders to avoid town, and we need them to survive. I'm not going to hurt you if that's what you think. At least not physically. My word means a lot in Irvington, though. I can poison your reputation easily. Good. I'm glad. Hello again. Anything you need help with? Well, officially we willingly pay them taxes. Unofficially, if we don't pay them, they raise the town. The same thing goes for any big raider gangs that come through here. They used to. They were pretty bad about it too. Worse than the raiders. Once the Legion arrived, though, this place became no man's land for NCR soldiers. We haven't seen them in years, and we like it that way. The mayor of Junkfleet. His collectors don't come around as often as the Legion, but they usually ask for more. It's the mayor's way of punishing us for refusing to help him. He wants to push the NCR and Legion out of the frontier, make us independent. It's a nice idea, but it's never gonna happen. And anyone who helps the mayor is gonna get burned. The best thing for Irvington is to stay out of it. Only the larger gangs, the kind we can't win against. Smaller groups are no problem for us. They haven't been bothering us lately, though. With the war going on and the hangman doing whatever it is he does, their numbers have thinned out quite a bit. We expected them to attack us, but they're actually rather fair. As long as we give them medical supplies and caps, they let us do what we want. Of course, if we don't pay up, we're dead, but it could be worse. You want an answer? Look around. We have a militia, but we wouldn't last a second against an organized force. Not only that, we rely on traders from the Legion and Junkfleet to survive. If we fight back, they cut us off. It's not ideal, but we're happy where we are. In war, it's better to be ignored. And make ourselves a target? I don't think so. We don't expect anyone to understand, but you need to realize that we're not going to change. Sure. It's right next to... You'll want to see old Ben. See that? There's the Caulfield residence down the road. The militia was established after a particularly bad raid. We realized we needed something to defend. I got together the best people I could find in town and outside of it, and formed the militia. Since it was formed, the militia is a relatively new addition to Irvington, about 3 years old. I I have the most combat experience out of anyone here, so it made sense that I was made captain. That's because we didn't. Before the war, the army came to defend the town, just in case China broke through the Alaskan line. That never happened, but their mistake makes us one of the better equipped factions in the wasteland. Maybe. You certainly have the skills for it. I used to be NCR, if you couldn't tell by the armor. Served under a man named Hosea Zurich. Back then, I idolized him. I was willing to do anything to get close to him. Brighttown put things in perspective, not just for me, but for a lot of people. We finally realized that we might not actually be the good guys here. Then Zurich tried to have sex with me. That was the final straw. I deserted again and worked as a mercenary. Eventually, I was hired to protect this town. After a few raids, I decided to settle down, free of charge. Me? No, but Dr. Pavis has been having some trouble lately. I'm sure he'd appreciate any help you could give. I suppose there is something, but it's not exactly glamorous. Tycho is selling chems, and I need him to stop. I've tried talking to him, but he doesn't listen to anybody, especially people in authority. Maybe you could talk some sense into him.
Welcome back. What can... it's alright. Nothing you could have done. Would have liked to get some kind of trade partnership going, but... oh well. At least I know. Your pay. Talk to the captain or Deputy Vale. Welcome back. What can I do for you? Welcome back. What can I... Really? Damn, that's a shame. We like to think people out here can be better, but... your pay, as promised. Thanks again, stranger.
Yeah, he's sick. Oh, May. She's a firecracker. A troublemaker. Candy thinks Chloe is a bad influence on May, but the opposite's true. Chloe's holding May back. They're good for each other like that. Farm. You mean you didn't notice that giant barn in town? Granted, all the crops died, but once the ground thaws out a little, we'll try again.
Hello again.
The fuck you want?
Oh, really? The captain? Gee, I don't fucking care. You really think I don't know what she wants?
I don't give a crap. If she really wanted me to stop, she'd force me to. Shit. That actually makes sense. Fuck it. No more chems.
Hello again. Anything? He told me himself, and didn't call me a bitch. I'm... You hear about those crusaders by the Robco Tower?
I
guys
missed the
freak me out.
tapestry.
What? It's the co-op. If you don't have enough caps to afford a place in Junk Flea, well, you come here. The floors are rotted and the walls are covered in mold, but it's better than nothing. That's what I want to know. You missed him by about a week. When I came for rent, he said he was sick, so, idiot that I am, I left him alone. Next thing I know, he's gone. And there isn't a single cap in sight. Go on in. There, it's...
Howdy. That's 'cause I'm not. I'm California strong. Grew up on my daddy's ranch until I hit the big 2-1. No! I came up here years before they did. I never associate with those traitors. Look, Kimball ain't perfect. Hell, the NCR ain't perfect. That doesn't mean you can just abandon them, though. Especially with Caesar bearing down on the Republic. Blackthorn's just an entitled, selfish brat. The same could be said for all the people who followed him. That's different. I'm a bounty hunter by trade. You might have guessed that from this being the Junk Flea Bounty Office. Not too different from varmint hunting, really. Only difference is that you're shooting at things walking on 2 legs.
Howdy, stranger. Name's Wyatt. Last down below is Carla, and this here is the Junk Flea Bounty Office. I might have some work for you, if you're interested. Poor thing had her throat cut by the Legion. Hasn't been able to say much of anything since. She ain't useless, though. She's a whiz with computers. and she keeps all the paperwork at bay. This place probably wouldn't exist without her. When I was young, I'd probably have endorsed the NCR. Nowadays, I don't much care for politics. Don't really matter who's in charge. All of them got problems, and they'll need people like us to fix those problems. This is the Junk Fleet Bounty Office. If someone's wronged you, and you don't have the means to make it right, you come here. Legal. More often than not, you can't wait for the law to catch up. You have to take action. Legal. More often. Don't believe what Blackthorn or Caesar says. At the end of the day, the law don't matter if it gets in the way. Hell, used to be there was no law, period. Back then you had to stand your ground, fight for what you thought was right. It wasn't pretty, but folk back then were honest, and we were able to save lives. Now those same people are turning around and calling us out. Ungrateful maggots is what they are. You're right. The world has changed. But that don't mean people have. I know I haven't. Neither have the Raiders. Used to be a lawman of sorts. Kept the peace long before any superpower showed up. Me and my buddies were part of this group, the Midnight Riders. We'd go around taking care of raiders too tough for normal folk to handle. Earned ourselves a bit of a reputation before we broke up. It started with the serial killer, guy named the Smiler. Sick son of a bitch got the name because he would cut a smile into your face before you died. We took care of him, but after that, things fell apart. Oliver went soft on us. Said he couldn't take it anymore. So he went and became a preacher. Marco was the opposite. He lost it, turned into a raider. Me? I kept riding the wastes, righting any wrongs I came across. Once my knee started hurting, I settled down here and opened up the bounty office. He knows about it and allows it. Only condition is that the mayor can remove anyone's bounty at any time. It sounds like a bigger caveat than it actually is. Once or twice, but the mayor doesn't touch the bad ones, the real monsters. He only gets involved in junk bounties, like someone running away from gambling debts. Tag seems to get a pass more than most.
You here for Wyatt's gig? Take my advice. Turn around, walk out that door, and never come back. You're still here?
Alright, that's all I've got time for. Boy!